Okay, how you guys doing? Welcome back to the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. I would like to welcome you guys and thank everyone for supporting this channel. I would like to thank everyone for just all that you guys do here, all the likes, the things you do to subscribe to this channel. And today's episode would be the power of networking, why relationships are currency in business and how to build them effectively. Okay, so once again, if you guys are just now tuning in, this is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. This is the place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and visions. We started this channel probably last year for small business owners or the small business owner wannabes, but we would like to welcome you guys in. This is the power of networking. And I actually just went past a event that looked like a profound event. It was Brazil weather summit of something here at Columbia University. So it was actually awesome looking event. But it was a lot of networking going on too. I wish I could have attended that event, honestly. But this is the power of networking. I'm going to give you guys 3 points here to help you understand why relationships are currency. That is the real currency in business. The real currency in business is human capital. Human capital is your number one asset when it comes to doing business. If you don't have any human capital, you won't have any revenue or any greenback capital. No, I'm not going to say it. But if you do not have, we're going to be serious here. If you do not have any human capital in business, that means that you're not out there networking. You're not doing any business to business collaborations. You're not, let's say, going to workshops, events. You're not reaching out to people. You're not making some of these cold calls. You know, that's the number one thing I hate. I hate to make cold calls. I hate it. I just hate it for some reason. I really don't like just getting on the phone. I really don't like sending too many messages. It seems like you're kind of begging, but you need to generate human capital if you want to go anywhere in this life. No one can get where they need to go by themselves. You need to if you don't have a mentor, you need to at least find someone that's on your same level, have that same drive. You know what? I don't recommend this, but even if you have a spouse, make sure that your spouse has that same mindset to make sure that you guys can create generational wealth, that you guys would like to start a business, you guys would like to open up a trust. You do not want the next generation to start off where you guys started off, or maybe you started from a trust. Okay, that's okay too. Not everyone has to have a rags to riches story. So I always say that not everyone has to have a rags to riches story. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you continue to accumulate money or find extra streams of revenue or create extra streams of revenue so that your child, your children's children will be able to inherit those businesses, will be able to inherit that mindset, and will be able to inherit that capital and that strategy to make sure that that's passed on to the next generation. So number one, and this is the power of networking, why relationships are currency in business and how to build them effectively. Number one, relationships are real currency. In business, no, opportunities come through people, not products. If you want an opportunity, a person is the one that is going to give you an opportunity. You do not get an opportunity in business by a product. A product itself doesn't give you the opportunity. Maybe the owner of that product. So anyone that has ever collaborated with Nike, they collaborated with Nike's owner or someone that was on the hierarchy of Nike or Adidas, or I don't know why I'm using these fashion brands tonight, but just say Gucci or Louis Vuitton. These main high caliber brands, anyone that's ever collaborated with these brands, whether it's another business, whether it's a person himself as a spokesperson, a person gave them that opportunity. That is why real currency in business is your relationships or it's people, human capital. In business, opportunities often come through people, not just products, you know. They're really people, you know what I mean? People itself. Strong connections open doors to collaborations, referrals, mentorship, and funding. If you want some funding, if someone vouches for you, now I don't know why exactly I'm using funding, but if someone vouches for you, even though you may not have the credit score, even though you may not have let's say the profit and loss statements. Maybe your profit and loss statements you're not generating enough revenue for someone to loan you $50,000, to loan you $100,000. But that's why you need human capital in business. Human capital is someone that has already developed a strong relationship with an investor. Someone who has already developed a strong relationship with someone else. They can vouch for you, and they will say, you know what, I'm going to introduce you to someone that's an investor, and just say, man, hey, work with this guy, man. Work with him, and I can vouch for him that he's going to do everything he can to make sure that you get your money back. You're going to get a high yield return on your investment, and everything's going to be smooth. And if it doesn't, I'll pay it back myself. You need people like that that's going to make sure that you that you can get in certain doors that you would normally not be able to have access to with your own accolades. And number 2, networking with intention, not transaction. And this is what I do as well. I network with intention. When I network with certain individuals, I have intention of why I network with that person. I can make many transactions with, let's say, man, I had a guy from Dubai that came and wanted to offer us a deal. I believe it was 2.5 million at 2.5% annual, and it was over 10 years. But the thing was, he didn't align with our goals. This particular investor did not align with our particular goals and with our company culture and what our core values stood for. So we did not work with that individual, even though that was a good opportunity. But when you're networking, you need to network with intention. Don't just go out here and start it. Don't load yourself down with meetings. Don't load yourself down with, and I heard someone use this strategy as well. Someone else used a strategy and they said that, man, say yes to everything, and then one person can lead you to another place and another place can lead you to another place. Okay, I do understand that. But when you network, you need to network with the intention of your goal in mind. So I'm not, if I'm trying to build a race car studio, I'm not going to network with people who's into let's say basketball. What I mean is, you're trying to build or baseball. You're trying to build a little league team. I'm trying to build a race car studio, and we have nothing in common unless you may or let's say a karate teacher. This guy's a karate teacher. He's into jiu-jitsu, and I'm trying to build something different. The thing that I'm saying is, maybe that's a horrible analogy, but what I'm trying to say is, every time that you network with something, network with somebody that you believe that has some type of, that can identify with your goal or your dream towards where you're going. You need to network. If you're trying to be a good chef, you need to be mentored by a chef that's better than you. If you're trying to get to a place where you want to get into real estate, let's say you want to do tax lien investing, maybe it's a tax deed investing state. What you want to do is, you want to get with someone that's in real estate that has already went through those trenches when you're trying to use that avenue of tax lien investing or tax deed investing to get into real estate. That's just one avenue to get into real estate, but let's just say you may want to go the Airbnb route. But and we'll talk about taxes on that later. But what I'm saying is, when you network with individuals, you need to network with intention. You need to have some type of intention on what you're doing. Effective networking is about adding value first, not just collecting contacts. So I can't really stress this enough. This is something that I talk about all the time. When you are effectively networking, when you're networking, let's say, you need to add value to the person that you're networking with. It's not about adding to your contacts or just having these transactions, these verbal transactions, and you guys are just telling your life stories. You have a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story about how you became a millionaire. Okay, but that doesn't help me. How does that add value to me? Not unless you need to add value. I don't care. There's been a time where I've interned for a person just because they didn't have the capital to build their business. They didn't have the staff. They didn't have the capital. They needed that extra creativity. So you know what I did? I went and I interned to help them to build a profitable business, adding value to the person I was networking with. Once they got to the place where they were, they also reached back, or they gave me a contact that helped me to get to a place I wouldn't have access to, even with the accolades that I have. Even with the experience I had, there was no way possible I could have been able to get in that door. So I want you to know, when you network with individuals, you need to network with intention. All right. And number one, our sub point here is effective networking is about adding value, not just collecting contacts. You can have a lot of meaningless contacts. If all the contacts that you have in your phone, if you cannot call them and you cannot have a conversation, it doesn't necessarily have to be about business, but if you cannot have a genuine conversation, intellectual conversation that adds value to each other, you don't need that contact. I went through my phone probably like a month ago. Everyone that I didn't talk to, everyone that didn't add any value to me, anyone that I couldn't add any value to, I erased those contacts. Get those contacts out of your phone that are just sitting there. If you can't call them at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, if you can't call them and, like I said, have an intellectual conversation that adds value, that adds some type of value through wisdom, through knowledge or experience. If you have contacts in your phone that do not add value, you need to get rid of those contacts. They are meaningless contacts, and they are time wasters and distractions. Get rid of them. Networking with intention is it also helps to build trust by listening, solving problems, and showing genuine interest. You're going to run across a lot of people in business that's going to act like they're interested. That normally fades off, and it normally fades off very quickly. When someone doesn't get what they want in the time that that time span that they feel like they should have it, you will see them start to flake. So you can tell if people are not genuinely interested in your services, your products. Let's say your backstory. If they're not interested in your business, you can tell. Certain people that I've went into business partnership with, we canceled those contracts. I got out of some of those contracts. You know why? Because in the beginning, and this is something that you have to learn, after dealing with, let's say, multiple people, you will start to learn this. You will start to have discernment whether someone is pulling your leg or not. Some people can see you rising or making it to a certain point in life, and they will want to grab onto your coattail, or they will want to work with you before anyone else. And a lot of those are energy drainers as well. So you need to be aware, and you need to have some type of discernment to help you to understand exactly who's truly interested, who's showing genuine interest in working with you, and also someone that can build trust by listening, solving problems. Anyone that you're networking with, if they're always telling you a problem but they're not bringing you a solution, you need to get rid of those people, man. They are time wasters. You never want someone to tell you everything that's wrong, but never wants to tell you how to solve it. You bring me a problem, you need to also bring me a solution suggestion. So as well. I'm going to give you an example. It's like just say following up with a personal note or sharing a resource. Sharing a resource creates deeper bonds than just exchanging business cards. So we do that as well. But you have to learn how to trust these people. You don't want to vouch for someone that's going to destroy your credibility in business. So don't just vouch for anyone. Don't just, I met this guy, he was cool, first impression was cool, but you don't know this person. So after you get to know people, do not trade contacts right off. Do not vouch for just anyone. It could ruin your credibility as a businessman, as a business. It can ruin your brand. And that is, some people don't come back from some of those vouches, as I should say. So you need to be careful with that. So if you're just now tuning in, this is the House of Business Podcast. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. This is the place where we give the knowledge and tools to execute your dreams and visions. We are going over the power of networking, why relationships are currency in business, and how to build them effectively. Number one, we went over relationships. Relationships and human capital is the real currency. Relationships is the real currency when you're dealing with business, when you're dealing with, let's say, friends. You need human capital. If you have a real friend, he's considered human capital. You call him at 3 o'clock in the morning, tell them this happened, that happened. They come bail you out, they come comfort you, whatever. Human capital is the real currency in this life. It's hard to come across people that are truly genuine and that truly care, and that so you need to generate human capital and also be an asset and create and pour value into the person who's part of your network as well as human capital. So number one, relationships is the real currency. Number two, networking with intention, not transaction. You need to network. Everyone that you come across, everyone that you give your time and your energy and your attention to, it needs to be with intention. Don't talk to 40 people about meaningless things and you don't get anywhere. You don't accomplish anything that you're trying to accomplish. It's not helping you reach your goals. It's not adding any value to you. It's just redundant conversations. Those are distractions, and those are energy drainers and energy wasters. You want to bypass that. Everyone that you network with, you need to network with intention. Some people say this is being selfish. This is not being selfish. This is being selfless. The only way that you can be selfless if you become selfish. That means this: you have to be selfish enough to care about where you want to go, what you want to do so you can get to a point where you can be selfless. You will have more than enough where you can help someone and it doesn't hurt you. But you need to be selfish when you start to network with people, when you start to generate revenue. When it comes to building a team, you need to be selfish so that you can. Selfish is what opens the door to selflessness. If you care about yourself enough, then you will do what's best for you. You will cancel out the distractions. You will create value. You will start to make sure that you increase your value. I don't care if it's learning. You have to be selfish when you're trying to grow in life. And then that opens the door for you to be selfless. And what do I mean by that? It means that you will become so valuable that even if you were to give someone an hour of your time, it would not drain your energy. You will add value to that person. It would not drain your time because you know that you're doing something. Your perspective will be different. So to become selfless, you need to become selfish to be able to cultivate enough value, to be able to cultivate enough so you need to become selfish to be able to be the person or be placed in a position where you can be able to pour into people and it doesn't hurt you. So network with intention. Number three, practical strategies to expand your circle. Now, I always tell people this as well. When you are creating a business, when you are going after hiring board of directors, like I said, and when you need to now. This is why when you are in a position as a CEO and a business owner, you need to lead with authenticity. And why do I say that? Because you have to hire your weaknesses if you ever want to grow. Someone is going to be able to do something better than you, and you cannot be offended and say, man, I don't want you working for me anymore because you're doing too much. You need to be grounded in authenticity and say, this is what I can do. This is my skill set. This is what I'm going to build off of. I don't care if this person that I hired is better in sales than me. Ultimately, it goes back to the benefit of my company. I cannot grow envious or jealous of someone that's working for me doing a good job. It's been so many corporate dynamics where the leadership is so tender-tailed that if they have someone that they hire doing a better position, they want to cover that person's talent, cover that person. Oh, they're threatened. You do not need to be in a leadership position if you are easily threatened by someone that's under you, that's doing a good job that ultimately benefits your company or your business. You are corrupting the company culture. So you know what I'm saying? You need to build a company culture where people want to come to work, where they don't feel oppressed, and where they can grow and increase in value and position and also get paid for that value that they bring to that position. You do not need to be in a place of leadership if you cannot lead with authenticity. You need to be okay with your flaws, man. You need to be okay with your weaknesses, man. You need to be okay. You need to take evaluation of who you truly are down to your core. These are my values. This is what I stand for. This is the level that I can perform at. You need to be real with yourself because you're going to come across a lot of people. You're even going to have to hire people that's better than you, and you cannot become offended. You have to learn how to lead people that are better than you at tasks and their abilities and their skill set. As a leader, you are going to have to lead people that's better than you. You say, man, wow. If you are an owner, a CEO, a business owner, a founder, you are going to have to hire your weaknesses. And 9 times out of 10, some of the tasks and some of the things that you do, they're going to do them better. And that's what you want. You want to work yourself out of a job and out of a position. That's your whole job. Your job is not to try to compete with the people you hire. Your job is not to try to compete with people that's under you. You don't come off the throne to start competing. You lead with authenticity. And that helps other people to be honest as well. So, I would love to follow someone that is truly authentic to who they are. They embrace their flaws. They embrace their strengths. They embrace their leadership style. They really have compassion about their employees, about their employees' families. That is somebody that you want to follow. You do not want to get to and this is a big thing as well. Work on your emotional intelligence, man. Because there's going to come a point in time that someone that you hire is going to do such a good job, better than you, that I hate to put it like this, but they're going to pull their nuts out. They're going to say, man, I did this and I did this. And you have to cultivate emotional intelligence where you can still be a leader. You can still be a father to your team. You can still be compassionate. Man, you have to operate at all times from a place of leadership, compassion. No matter how someone talks to you, and that's kind of hard. You be like, man, I can just fire this guy. You know what I mean? He was late 2 times. But there's going to come a time where someone is going to test your position of leadership. Do you still own the company? Yes, you still own the company. Are you still in that position? Yeah. So they're not going to move you out of your position, but they are going. And you want people to challenge you in a certain extent so you can gain that experience, and so that you can really you can do some internal evaluation and say, man, maybe I am slacking in this area. You have to be real with yourself. You have to humble yourself as well. You can, if you're not willing to be led, and sometimes you need to be led by that other voice that's on the inside of you, basically telling you, hey man, hey Caleb, man, you were wrong there. You may not admit it right there in front of them, but you need to take a in-depth, eternal evaluation of who you are, your attitudes. The things that you do is kind of hard to do that, but that's something you're going to have to do as a leader, especially someone that's going to lead for 10, 20, 30 years. What I mean by leading 10, 20, 30 years, not in that same position. You always want to work yourself out of a position, but as someone else takes over that position, that you want to move to something else. You want to move to working on being a leader in another area of your life. But these are some practical strategies to expand your circle. Like I said, hire your weaknesses. That's the first thing you need to do. You're going to be responsible for people who are going to be better than you in a lot of areas. You need to cultivate emotional intelligence to make sure that you have exactly what it takes to lead people who are more skilled than you, to lead people who are better at sales, better at marketing. You have to learn how to lead those people. 3, you can attend industry events, join professional groups, and engage on LinkedIn with authenticity. Once again, like I said, you have to lead with authenticity. You cannot be in a position of leadership if you are not comfortable with who you are. Number 3 is practical strategies to expand your circle. Like we just said, where you're going to have to lead people that's more highly skilled than you. Number 2, leverage weak ties, casual acquaintances. Research shows that they often lead to the biggest opportunities. So that's something that you need to take into consideration. Leverage, weak ties. You need to use that as leverage for your business as well. So if you're just not tuning in, this is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. We just went over the power of networking, why relationships are currency in business, and how to build them effectively. One of our points went over 3 points. Number 1, relationships is real currency. Number 2 is networking with intention, not transaction. Number 3, practical strategies to expand your circle. And this is our closing takeaway to this. Your network is your net worth. I know you've heard that so many times, it sounds so cliche, but your network is your net worth. Relationships built on trust, value, and consistency create a ripple effect of opportunities that money alone cannot buy. I'm going to leave you with that. Once again, it's the House of Business Podcast. This is the point where this is a place where we give you the knowledge and tools to execute your dreams and business. I'll see you here next Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.